Today's best of 5 will be featuring Vulture AV, currently at a B+ ranking, has achieved A+ before, has been featured on this channel before, and he will be up against Legend Evil, who's played a whole poop ton of games, and he has pretty good records here. Lots of A's completed. No, actually, A pluses. So Vulture has achieved a higher rank than him, but you can see the crazy records: 49-3, 51-13. He is currently 13-6. Some good 2v2s. Yeah. So we'll see how she goes. GL, HF, best of 5 between these two. Let's get her going. What is crackin', YouTube? We are here with a best of 5. Yeah, best of 5 here. Legend Evil versus Vulture AV. Played very recently. I think actually just the other night or so. Good to see these top players playing each other without being forced to in a tournament. So we'll see how she goes. Legend Evil, known for not losing too often, having a pretty good record, but also being pretty selective of his opponents unless otherwise forced to in the final tournaments. So we'll see how she goes. Going to go ahead and throw that first hatchery up right at the front. Very, very forward hatchery. Some players do like to throw it a little bit farther back, so it's not quite as vulnerable to Marines or Dragoons or whatnot. We do have the Protoss going for the classic Nexus first here. Oh god. And we'll see how he follows up. It could be the Korean Open where he just goes for one gateway, a forge, and a choke right into his gas and robotics facility. Or it could be the more standard 4 gateway. It actually looks like it's going to be the 4 gateway from the placement of that first gateway. So it looks like he's actually going to be looking to apply a lot of early ground pressure, maybe massing up a little bit of the Zealot force before going into his Reaver or his tech of choice. Most likely going to be either a Reaver into Storm Drop, most likely, but he could go for the additional couple extra robos and go for more of a Reaver build, but that doesn't seem to be the case right now. Going to go straight into that 4 gateway, going to get his Zealot production up and going, a little bit more delayed than if he was to not go Nexus first, obviously, but still going to be a strong choice, a classic safer choice here, more SCW than Korea style. And yeah, we'll see how she works out. The first 2 links for our Zerg player are out. Only 1 additional hatchery here. We weren't paying attention to how many drones he did send out, but he isn't going to be exactly sure what race he's playing against. Or he's not going to have any information. He's completely in the dark right now. He hasn't seen absolutely anything. If 1 probe goes out, that's good. 2 spots. Not going to see the Zerg yet. This could be the first interaction right here. Not quite going to run into each other yet. The Protoss is now going to see that he is up against the Zerg. The Zerg is going to see he is up against the Protoss, and now they are going to be able to adjust their builds accordingly. We do see those 2 gases going down 7.5 score pretty early for our Protoss player. He's going to be able to do that while producing mass Zealots, because the economy is going to just be really good. If he is producing probe, he does need to be producing probe from that second Nexus there. The Zergling almost takes out the probe, does get a couple shots off, is going to try to go in here again, but is going to be taken out. Next Zergling is going to try to get in here. It is super duper important for him to get in here if he can. He will be able to get all the information he needs, and it is going to be able to run by. This is big time for him, so he's going to be able to see exactly what he's up against. It's going to be very good for him, making sure he has plenty of Sunkens at the front, because he did see a lot of Zealots here. He's going to go ahead and see that Nexus. Going to go over here and see the tech, not quite started yet. is going to see the timing on the robotics facility. The Overlord going to come in here, also get a double check up in here. The first zealots are going to come on here, try to get a run by. No units there to stop them. These drones a little late to the party are going to get a pretty decent block off, but a lot of zealots are going to run by. Not going to be good for our Zerg player. Going to be forced to produce Zerglings and possibly have to stack up his drones here. The Zealot's smartly going after the Sunken Colony. He's going to go for the real long-term damage here. Now going after a couple of the drones here. Some drones stacking up, taking out a few Zealots, but 3 Zealots are still alive. Zergling's now going to poke away at them. You can see his economy big time hurt from this attack. Not going to be a game-ending move, but absolutely is going to be devastating. 100% worth the investment of all of those Zealots in the early game there. Sometimes if you aren't able to run by, you just have wasted a lot of supply and minerals into Zealots that aren't going to be useful for the duration of the time, or you could be wasting. That could have gone a lot worse, so that's definitely a win in Vulture's books there. His economy was already big time ahead with the Nexus first, and now it's going to be even more ahead. The Zerg forced to get defense back here for this drop that he knows is going to come out, as he is spotted with the Overlord. Dragoons are out, going to try to push those Overlords away so they cannot see the drop for the longest period of time. The closer they are, the earlier they are able to see it, and the more time he has to react. The Hydralisk Den going down now for our Protoss player, and or for a Zerg player, I mean. And we will see how she goes. All of these Overlords getting pushed back into the abyss. Reverse Reaver is being produced. We don't see a Templar of Archives yet. Oh no, we do. Okay, I'm blind. Storm almost dropped. So yeah, these Reaver drops are good to get out. You can get one Reaver drop while the Storm drop is upgrading. He does have his High Templars building for the inevitable follow-up. But yeah, of course they do have to wait for that to finish. No starport yet, so he's not going to have any Corsairs yet to block these spores from shooting down the dropship. We're going to see the path that this dropship takes, and if he runs, actually right now he does have an opportunity to run in the bottom. These spores aren't yet. Right now, only the worst spot is exactly where he's going. Oh, but he is going to be paying attention. Going to go down in here right before those spore colonies get completed. One drone getting taken out. Pretty good micro here from the Zerg player. The dropship does get taken out. The Overlord shoot the Scarab. Will it blow up? Is it going to be a dunner? It's a dunner. Devastation. That could have been a GG blow, Scarab blow right there, but it isn't going to happen. 2 more robotic facilities and that Stargate now going down. Going to throw down a couple more gas here. Really going to have a lot of gas. Going for a gas-heavy build. And not many gateways. He has been microing it. It's still pretty early. And, oh, okay, actually, look, here we are. We are throwing some cannons up top here. I was wondering where all of his macro attention was going. Zergling over here on the minerals patch, so now he can pull his drones over here instead of just using the geysers. They'll be a lot safer for them. First High Templar drop is preparing to go out. I don't know if this game sound is too loud or what. I'm going to turn that down just a little teeny tiny bit. And yeah, we're going to see how this drop goes. Still not going to be accompanied by any Corsairs, so this drop is going to just have one Zealot to protect these High Templars. Nothing to protect the dropship. And slowly, Mr. Legend Evil is getting himself in a decent position, considering how this game did start off. It wasn't looking too good. Still nearly double supply for the Protoss. This drop going all the way around. Another drop here. I think it's all empty. It's just going to be a distraction drop. So he isn't paying attention to this one. This drop going in now. High Templar. Pretty good storm, but pretty good pull there as well. I tried to look at the drone count, but I just wasn't able to do it. So I'm not exactly sure how many drones were down there, but more than one is going to be a lot. Another drop going to come in here right after. Going to get 13, 16 kills, 17 kills. So again, absolutely worth it. And another drop. Oh my goodness, going to get down to 8 drones here. Just absolutely devastating drops here, putting this Zerg player in an absolutely brutal spot. And yeah, I don't imagine. Oh, I don't imagine him living too much longer. Once the pressure starts on the front, which I feel like it will be coming soon, he just needs a couple more pylons. Really going all in on these drops. Reaver's going to be starting to build up here. One High Templar getting thrown. Going to go down and take out even more. 4 more. You just can't afford that when you only have 9 drones left total. Scourges are going to be built and take out a couple of these dropships that are chilling, but 1 High Templar still chilling there. No units to take it out quite yet, and he is only 4, 3, 2, 1 energy away from having a storm, but he is going to get picked off. But another drop coming in here. The Hydras are here to try to pick it off. 1 storm goes down on these Hydras. Still going to be a pretty good investment there. And this drop is going to go in here. Going to go right on top of that Hydra. It's not actually going to get any kills that time. I'm getting a little lazy there, but GG is going to be called. Legend Evil knows that he's absolutely in an awful spot, and he is going to GG up, save up some time, and we're going to go into game number 2. Vulture taking a very nice game 1 there. Pretty good. He got pretty lucky in those spots in the early game for his build, I guess, but we're not going to take that away from him. Nicely done. 1-0 for Vulture AV, and we will jump into game number 2 now. Alrighty, game number 2. We have Mr. Vulture AV going to be Zerg this time in the top middle position, up against Mr. Legend Evil's Terran in the bottom right position. This is game number 2, and we will see how she goes. Legend has a very strong Terran. His Zerg is definitely his weakest, and just like most players on this map, as Zerg just has the most disadvantages in fastness, in my opinion, though. Players like JH and other high-level players are really good with it, and they may have a different opinion. First hatch going to go down basically in the exact same spot as Legend Evil in that previous game, and just the first single barracks. I imagine we're going to see a triple barracks from Legend Evil, unless he's feeling spicy and going to go for the 2 barracks academy build, which in this matchup is really good. You don't necessarily need a ton of Marines early game unless you are going to go for like a 4 or 5 barracks stim push. Some people can even do it with the 3 barracks. It's not uncommon to go for the 3 barracks academy, but the 2 racks earlier gas is really good versus Zerg. It can be really good versus Protoss too if you can micro properly. So we'll see the timing of the Terran's gas. That'll be a big tell on what exactly he's going to do. Everything looks super standard right now. He's playing it safe because he doesn't know the matchup. First SCV that finished the barracks is going to go out to scout. Overlord checking for the mid build, not going to go see anything, going to go safely in that corner here. Spawning pool almost done. The first SCV is going to go across the middle to also check for that mid build. Not going to see anything, going to go into the top left, a standard scouting location. The first Marine that pops out is also going to be rallied out to scout. He has not been scouted yet, so he's pretty sure that it's not going to be a Protoss. Gas is going to be down, but he can't be sure because it could be that Nexus first Protoss style that is very, very popular right now. First 2 Sagas are going to be down, so the Zerg player is not going to die to this first Marine or any kind of bunker pressure. He is going to survive the early game, which always feels good as a Zerg because you can also be, you're so vulnerable to so many pressure builds from the other races. They are now officially going to see the matchup. The Terran is going to know that he is up against a Zerg. We'll see if he's going to throw down that academy or if he's going to throw down another gas right here to go for a factory push. Going to go for that first factory really quickly. One factory right in the middle of the base, so this doesn't necessarily look like that double factory build. He could just throw down his academy and go for a very strong marine stim with one factory push that also can work. It's not as powerful against the Hydralisk counter, and you will be a little bit slower on breaking down that choke, but if you keep everything alive, it can work. We do see that second gas going down now, so yeah, we actually are going to see that second factory go down. Not too late at all. That first factory is so early that he did get out, so it's going to be a really tough hold here for our Zerg player. Not yet using, or not having enough gas to use on anything yet, so we're not going to see what he's going to do. I imagine it's going to be a quick layer. There we go, layer going down right now. He's going to have to get those lurkers out ASAP to slow this down. You don't have a very long path here from that middle position, not quite as big as it is in those corner spots. So he's really going to have to invest a lot of money in sunken colonies to make sure that there isn't any opportunity for the Terran to run by. Because if the Terran can even just take out one of these sides, it isn't uncommon for them to just run by their army and get past these sunkers, not waste any time, kill that tech that the Zerg is inevitably going to go for. An engineering bay being built is going to float over. It can be used just to, you're most likely going to build two of them. The first one you're going to send right into the main to scout for the tech. The second one you're going to build is just for the range of those siege tanks, but you have to stop a rally of Marines in order to afford it, even though he can afford it right now, but I'm probably going to throw down a Stargate at some point. He does have 4 gas now, so he is going to definitely get a starport down. Going to be able to afford all of those heavy gas units. One sunken colony did get taken out by the marine pressure. I imagine I must have missed that, or if I did look at it, I wasn't paying attention. Lurker upgrade is being upgraded now, so it's just that really quick timing. He's going to have to get that Queen's Nest as soon as he possible, too. You just don't have enough gas, enough drones right now. It's real tough, while you're also trying to build sunken colonies at the front so you don't die. So we do see that first engineering bay is going to float in to scout. He didn't build a second one, so I guess he's just going to rely on continually pushing forward and unsieging and sieging. You're going to have to do that a little bit more if you don't have that little extra range. But it isn't a big deal. You can always be safe if you're outside of the creep. The sunken colonies cannot reach outside of the creep, so the safest spot is to just plant yourself outside of here. He is going to come in here and now see, possibly block these minerals, but no, he doesn't. He just want to make sure he knows exactly what's going on. Does see that it is going to be a Lurkers, more likely, not a Queen's Nest or Hive started yet. Queen's Nest now going down. 3 gas, another hatchery gonna go down, so he does have 5 additional hatcheries. This hatchery is basically dead, so 4 additional hatcheries, 5 hatcheries total. Once this does die, continuing to slow this down as much as possible. Oh my goodness, we do see 2 starports out here. 2 factory, 2 starport, very strong stuff. I imagine that we are going to see unless it's going to be full on vessels, that could be very, might skip Valkyries and just go full vessel. That can work. His money is starting to get up. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a triple getting thrown down here. Or no, he's just going to continue to push forward, continually sieging and unsieging these tanks. His marine count isn't the highest. He's going to start reproducing those, but you don't need a ton of marines quite yet unless he is going to go for the Muta. But it doesn't look like he's just going to use that Spire for Scourges, maybe until it does a Greater Spire, to pick off any of those vessels to make sure that these workers aren't spotted. There is no command center down for the Terran player, so he is not going to have any scans available to him. 2 Scourges are out, just waiting for those vessels to pop out. We do see a 3rd and 4th starport coming down here. So this is quite interesting to do this right in the middle of the map. He's confident that this push isn't going to be stopped, because if the Zerg does stop this and get a swarm right here, that is going to be devastating, as he only has 3 barracks at home. It's really going to hurt the production, so it is a little bit risky putting all of your units out here. But yeah, we'll see how she goes. Vessel coming out. I don't know if he picked off one already or not. I didn't see, but 1 lurker is going to get taken down. We do have the hive, not yet completed. He is going to need that swarm, I think, to defend this. So if he does get a good burrow on those lurkers while picking off those vessels, he can make this work, but it is very micro-intensive, very difficult maneuver to pull off. It is a J-Dong style level micro that you will need in order to defeat this army without Swarm. It basically never works for me. I can never get my Zerglings in the right spot while they always die before my lurkers can burrow, and they're able to pick everything off, and it just does not work out well for me. So we'll see how this goes. He is Orange is not being super aggressive on this push. He knows that this is a vulnerable spot. He knows that if he unsieges, oh, that's going to be devastating. A double eradicate on the drones here. Going to pick off one side. Only going to have 21 drones left. Didn't see exactly how many got taken out there because I am a noob at this casting. And, yeah, okay, at least 9 there. We didn't see how much the other one got. So that is going to be devastating to the Zerg economy here. Not going to be what he needs. I don't see the Greatest Fire starting. I don't see a Defiler Den. No, Defiler Den is completed. Consume is starting. So there are a couple of Defilers being built somewhere, but it's going to be another while until Consume finishes, and then another while for those Defilers to have energy. Meanwhile, the Terran army is only getting stronger. 4 vessels attempting to being produced at once. He does have a command center. He is starting to macro back at home just in case this somehow doesn't kill his opponent, but he is slowly and methodically pushing forward, eradicating the other side of the drones. Oh, he actually killed it with his Sunken Colony there. That was very ghostly stuff. Killed that one just in time. A couple more seconds and those all would have died. Micro and risky maneuver here. The lurkers are going to push forward with the link support, but they're going to get taken out fairly quickly. They do need that lurk or that Defiler Swarm. I don't know where the Defilers are. It's going to be called. And yeah, that push is going to be too strong, too fast. Right in his base at the 951 mark. Nice eradicates. And yeah, GG. GG. We're going to tie that series up. 1 game apiece. 1-1, and we'll jump into game number 3 right now. Game number 3. We got Legend Evil being up a Rotos this time, and he will be up against Vulture's Terran. So we are getting a nice variation on these matchups here, and we will see how this one goes. Legend Evil going to go for a no messing around mid build. He is sick of it, and Vulture is going to go for a instant choke here. So we're going to see some fireworks again. I imagine this game isn't probably going to be too long, as these guys are looking for pain right away. Luckily for Vulture, this probe isn't going to go in the exact right direction and scout him immediately, because that is always the worst feeling when you're scouted at the under the 1 minute mark. You just know that pain is coming. It's going to be extra hard. Vulture right now is doing the anti-Zerg build. This is a bunker rush build against this is a bunker rush build. Basically, he wants to build a bunker in front of the Zerg, but instead he is going to see exactly what he's up against, and that isn't going to be too bad either. He's going to know exactly what is happening, but it's still not going to be easy to defend. What you can do though, if you really wanted to try it, he could try to build a bunker up here, since he does know the bunker rush still can work versus a Protoss. If you get a bunker and if you get a bunker built, it's pretty good. It needs a lot of zealots to kill it, and if you start repairing it, it could be trouble. It doesn't look like that's what he's not going to try to do that though. He's going to build a bunker fairly far forward, but these first 2 zealots are being produced. The Marine trying to chase this probe away, but he only has 1 barracks built right now, making. He's only going to have 2 total, so this isn't going to be good when you have less barracks than gateways, but he is going to have the defender's advantage, and he is going to have the clock on his side as well. The longer he can survive, the better position he will be against this mid build. He's going to have a lot of drop counter pressure, and yeah, a lot of good stuff that the choke build can do if you do it properly. But it's super risky, because if you choke breaks, you're basically dead. You can see nothing behind, and yeah, he will be absolutely dead here. Going to try to be as aggressive as he can with his Marines. Going to use his knife versus gun advantage, gun versus knife advantage. The Forge going down at home for Legend Evil, who is unscouted. These Marines just doing their best to make sure that no cannons can be built. Going to try to pick that probe off. That would be ideal for him. Gas now going to go down for our Terran player. The first, this Protoss army is doing a great job making sure that these bunkers can't advance too far forward. Going to allow him to get these cannons up. Once these cannons are up, the Terran counter pressure is basically turned off for the time being until they get stim or siege tanks. He is going to throw down his command center at home, so he's happy with his spot right now. Not too worried about dying right now to any kind of zealots, which is one of the benefits you do have with the choke. But this choke, one depot is going to be vulnerable, and these two barracks are also going to be vulnerable to these cannons. Legend Evil is not going to give up on this mid build. He smells blood and he's going to go for it. He's going to throw down 2 gas back at home now too, so he is going to start transitioning. Not actually going to expect this to maybe finish him, because it is hard to kill a turtling Terran. Very nicely done. He is not going to pick off that probe, so that is going to slow down that cannon advancement for now. These zealots are all just running by. I don't know if that's a good idea or not, but it's actually going to be pretty good because it's going to allow those cannons to get up for sure. Also going to push the Terran's attention away from that choke. No cybernetics core yet down for Legend Evil, so he's going to start cooling up gas. I imagine he's going to go for cybernetics cores to he's probably going to be able to afford 2 of them by the time that cybernetics core finishes. 2 robotics. Continuing to now pressure the forward, keeping his zealots alive here. Very nice micro by Legend Evil, picking this Terran player apart for the time being. Not dead yet, but not where you want to be. More zealots than Marines here. Gonna get a surround on it. 1 bunker trying to get completed, but the choke being down is the risk that you take when you're doing a build like this. Going to go ahead and start throwing down pylons right at the main here. Gonna send some zealots in here to pick off these SCVs, which just can't be picked off right now. We can see the supply getting out of control here. Legend Evil is going to take that prettily, handily, and he's going to take the 2-1 lead over Vulture. No GG by Vulture. That's why I'm smiling. Vulture, come on, give him a GG. That was a good game. Vulture definitely was hoping that was Terran vs Zerg that game. That is not a Protoss. That is not a Terran vs Protoss build you would build if you knew the matchup. But yeah, we'll jump into game number 4 here. We'll see if Vulture can hop back and continue on in this best of 5. Game number 5. And on the 5th day, Tony G gave us Vulture being the Protoss player going for a mid build versus Legend Evil being the Zerg player in the bottom right position. We're going to see another aggressive game. I do think from the lack of GGs that we're seeing that these two players do not like each other. Not many high. You don't really like too many players when you're playing them. It's just like anything like sports. You could play against your friend in a sport and you hate him during the time you're playing against him. Afterwards, you guys are buddies, but during competition, you hate your opponent. You have to hate your opponent because you want to kill them. You want to destroy them. You want to embarrass them. And you can't do that to someone that you like, so you have to hate your opponent for the most part, at least I think. I'm sure there's people out there that are like those. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, we'll just shut the F up about that and continue on with some StarCraft that I do know a little bit more about than the psychology of competition. The Overlord is going to go out in the middle and see exactly what he wants to see. or what his purpose is. He doesn't really want to see this because he knows that there is going to be a chance that he dies real fast. Legend Evil is going to know, though, to pull a couple of extra drones out here ASAP to get those Sunkens up ASAP, because one Zealot is already almost built before the spawning pool is completed. That's how crazy this mid build is. A Zealot's going to be out before your spawning pool finishes. And I feel like the Overlord gave away his position too. Yes, it did. Vulture was able to see it, and he is going to send 3 probes out here. This is going to be tough to hold. These 3 probes are going to do their best to block these drones from getting up. 1 does get up though, 2 do get up though, but 1 gets taken out. So he did stop the delay for the kill, and we're gonna see how this goes now. That's Sunken out, or that Zealot out so quickly. Going to be able to take this first creep colony out without a problem. These little probes are dashing out 5 damage as well here. So that's quite a bit of damage here. Those 3 probes right now are absolutely really helpful with the DPS. You can see them finishing off a couple of these Zealots, but the first Sunken colony does get completed, and the wall is done. So nicely done by Legend Evil there. A lesser player would have died there for sure, because if those Sunken colonies were any more delayed at all, he could have absolutely died there, and he still may die here. Another Sunken colony going down. Only 1 is completed, and only a couple of Zealots here defending it. Nothing at home, so if these Zealots do get run by, which they are trying to do, that is going to be an issue as well, because he needs those to block this as much as he can. He cannot afford to lose any drones. You can see he only has 5 drones collecting right now. He's had to pull a lot of drones to block and wall here just to stay alive. And now these Zealots, so they're actually really super duper weak, and they are going to get picked off by those last remaining Zerglings. So again, pretty nice job so far from Legend Evil. Not in an ideal situation, and you can see 2 gas already being started and a Cybernetics core being thrown down here for Vulture. But not bad at all. He's continuing to produce these Zealots. He doesn't want to stop pressuring, wants to make sure that Mr. Evil cannot chill. You can see he's still building some colonies, which he just doesn't want to do at this point. He doesn't even have a second hatchery built yet. 2 hatcheries total, but normally you want to have 3 total at this point at least. And only 9 drones here, so he's gonna have to send the next couple of waves of drones to mining, as he just can't afford to continue to build Sunken colonies at home. And now he's going to have to be dealing with robotics. I imagine going to be thrown down right now because Vulture has exactly 200 gas, but he is migrating home. Actually, okay, he could throw it down at the choke as well. That wouldn't be a bad idea either. And yeah, that is what he's going to do. He's going to throw it down at the choke, so he can just use these reavers to also break down these Sunken colonies ASAP. And yeah, Legend Evil is going to have a difficult time, I imagine, defending this. Very good pressure, continuing to produce Zealots. Getting another gas down here. Another cannon to, just not a bad idea. Also going to make that choke smaller for any potential Zergling run by. We can see that's not going to be even a possibility right now, as Legend Evil just needs to make some drones and some hatcheries. But yeah, he's definitely got a himself in a little bit of a pickle here. But he is alive, and if you're alive, it's always a good thing. Being alive is better than being dead. That's what I always say to my friends. Oof. The second robot facility is going to be thrown down here. No support, no Citadel yet. Gonna get that support bay down. Gas has been started for Legend Evil, so perhaps gonna have Hydralisk out in time, but I don't know. It's just gonna be tough. Really, that third hatchery being delayed really, really hurts you. Just, yeah, having 2 hatcheries to produce drones and everything is just not what you want. Hydralisk Den is completed. Going to build a couple of Hydralisks. 3 Hydralisks are going to be built But the shuttling of zealots is going to start here. 2 creep colonies getting thrown down at home, but they may be too little, too late. But we'll see. I feel like he knows that this is coming, because this is a famous Legend Evil strategy to shuttle over, but he usually does a probe too and will start making cannons over here, which can be even more devastating if you are not prepared for it. These zealots going to go right over and try to target the 4 drones, or 2, 4, 5, 7 drones that are collecting. All of them do survive, and yeah, Mr. Legend Evil getting himself out of the pickle. Not completely, but doing a pretty grande job so far. First Reaver gonna start getting some shots away at home. Zealot speed getting completed. More gateways being produced. These Hydralisks are going to try to pick off this Reaver, but I don't know if that will be a good idea. The Reaver is going to be pulled back. And yeah, right now he cannot be affording to lose Hydralisks like this. I don't know why. I don't know exactly what this dropship is doing right now. He could definitely be applying some pressure right now. Going to drop the zealots down here to protect the Reavers. Picking up the Reavers and going home could not be a bad idea at all. Did sneak a layer out, so we'll see if he's going to try to go Muta, perhaps. That could be an okay idea when you have this little of hatcheries. 3 hatch Muta can be okay. Can be a real thing. You can get Guardians off 3 hatch. I've seen Gosus do it before. The Reavers continuing to push forward, taking out all of this front defense, forcing Legend Evil to invest more drones and more money into sunken colonies just to try to slow this Protoss onslaught down and get himself some time for his economy to go up. We do see that Spire, so it looks like he is going to try to go for this Korean Hydra Muta style. Maybe going just now. He definitely wants Mutas. His Guardians would be the long-term goal with that Spire, but even having some Scourges out here wouldn't be a bad idea. This drop going to come in here, not going to be detected by the Hydralisk. Going to drop down, and this is going to be absolutely devastating. No reaction from the Zerg player. I don't know what he's doing. Building Sunkens at home, but yeah, that's going to be a GG right there. Absolutely. And he is going to throw out a GG. Wow, what a well-mannered Legend Evil. GG. We're going to jump into the final game. 2-2. Game number 5. What is going to happen? Who is going to win? Find out now. Right. Game number 5 of this best of 5. And we got Vulture, AVS Zerg versus Legend Evil's Terran. So it is a rematch of one of the previous matches. Vulture will have time to have taken in the knowledge from that loss and hopefully learn from it, adapt to strategy, and overcome this Terran beast that is Legend Evil. Nothing too crazy is going to be happening for the Terran player. Looks like he's going to go for his very standard 3 hatchery. I don't think he deviates too much from his builds. He likes to stick with what he knows works. And yeah, I'm not against that at all either. No crazy innovations coming out from Tony G. He likes to copy the best and just tweak them a little bit. Likes to tweak them a little bit, but yeah, you know, keeping it fresh. Gotta have your bread and butter builds though that you can do when you're feeling out of it. Stick to what you know. First Overlord actually going to take a detour this way. May get unlucky and run into this first SCV here and possibly give away his position and his race. We'll see. No, it looks like they're going to actually be able to run by. I don't know, that's actually pretty close. The SCV definitely may have seen that. I wish I actually should have done the vision there. Yeah, okay, they definitely saw each other. Yeah, he definitely 100% saw the Overlord. He's only going to go into that first choke. He's going to go right into here and see exactly where that Overlord came from. No messing around with that SCV. First Marine is going to go out here and actually start pressuring that first Overlord. So the Zerg may be... No, okay, he's not going to try to bunker rush there. Going to use his first SCV to possibly build that factory, because he does like to get that first factory up super duper quick. Going to actually run back home though and not do that. We do see a very early gas here for our Zerg player. I think that was super early. This could be a possible Ling build. Zerglings are, you can do this timing versus the 3 factory build. We've seen JH do it to Kokani a couple times, where he and other players. JH, this is the JH Zergling to build. If you get the Zergling speed, no, he's going to go for the layer. Okay, so never mind. It isn't going to be a Zergling speed break. You can just start pooling Zerglings. If you get your first 100 minerals on gas, you can start pooling up your Zerglings, start building them, and by the time you have a good number of Zerglings, speed will be done, and you can start moving out. The Terran player usually does this build where they don't get medics very often, and if that is the build that they go for, this 2 factory build, it can counter it super hard. You can still get damage done if they do get an earlier factory, an earlier academy to get the medics and stuff out, but you can. It's still not a bad, because your layers up so quickly. You do have a very quick lurkers out, and usually by that time you've at least broken outside of your choke here, so you can potentially counter him. Nice little roundy here from those Marines, going to make sure that that Zergling that they did see go down there doesn't escape. Picks it off. The layer done, the Hydra's done a little bit slower than you would want it, as it isn't going to be timed out perfectly. Only 3 sunken colonies down at front, so he is doing pretty good, not overcommitting to sunkens before he needs to, using all of his drones to his economy, and yeah, he's definitely playing this one a lot better than last time. I think it's because he discovered what he was playing against earlier than last time, and he's also in a corner spot, so your wall is just so much better. You can just play so much more relaxed. Earlier game, you basically have to build 4 sunken colonies right away, no matter what. And yeah, that can just be super. That can just slow you down a lot. No Spire, so it looks like he's going to go right into the hive and go for the lurker layer push. It can be risky because the vessels can just absolutely murk you. You kind of want to get a Spire up, but maybe he will get that a little bit later, timed out with the hive. That could also be good if you're going right into Guardians, but I don't think that is what he's going to do. He is going to build at least 1 lurker. That is also one thing you can do. If you just want to get 1 lurker and throw it down, that can delay the push until at least vessels get out while you're teching into it. But you can also invest more and get a couple more lurkers and try to break. We're going to see a couple more Hydras getting built, so perhaps he is going to go for a Ling Hydra break. I don't think he's actually made Ling speed yet, so maybe he is just going to use this to make 1 lurker while he gets his greater Spire done. But again, we don't even see a Spire or okay, so maybe greater Spire isn't going to be the thing. It looks like he's going to go. Okay, there we are. We do see a Spire. Maybe that's timed out better than I thought it was. Or it could be a little bit late, like that Hydralisk deck. These tanks are pushing forward. Only 2 sunken colonies really remain here, but without those medics, the Marine pressure isn't really a real thing. 1 lurker is placed there, so that is going to delay this for the most part. He still can attempt to run by, but he will take some damage here. Cannot afford to be losing those Hydralisks right now. The hive is done. The Spire again is a little bit late. That's what I thought. You need to pretty much get a Spire down right when you start your hive if you want to do that greater Spire timing. He's doing okay right now. He's definitely holding on okay. He stopped the tanks from pushing past this point. So yeah, he's doing good so far. The vessel is not out yet. He has until this vessel gets out. You can see no Oh, look at it. He's actually getting some turret out. He's afraid of some Spire play from our Zerg player as he only sees one lurker and no extra speed yet. Tons of more colonies are getting thrown down here. We do see the Defiler Mount starting up his consume, and the Greater Spire has just begun right now. Everything very, very speedy for Vulture this time. Going to keep himself alive a lot longer than last time. Last time he was already getting devastatingly pushed. The first lurker really doing a great job buying him time. The vessel just now, which seems like a lifetime ago, coming out. And if you can see Burrow being upgraded right now too. Something that definitely hurt him last time. You don't want to forget Burrow. In a game like he experienced last time, he definitely remembers to get it because it did devastate him. We do see the Defiler, the saving grace of the Zerg player here. Now he is just waiting for Consume. The Consume will be done before that 40 energy that he does need. And yeah, we do see again the 4 starports. So it looks like Legend Evil's strategy is to eradicate all of the lurkers under the swarm. It'll also be good to continually pick off the Defilers. He knows that it's not muted, even though the Greater Spire is going to be done down. He isn't producing any mutisome. I'm looking up in that production tab. No mutas are done. But we do see the first swarm, and it is right at his choke, so he is going to be able to hold this. And that is the good news for the Zerg. That is step 1 of winning a Zerg versus Terran, is getting that swarm up at your choke. So excellent job here. Vulture taking nearly no damage done. Not any damage yet so far, but these Defilers are going to run in, or these vessels are going to run here, throw down a bunch of Erratatats, only going to get 2 drones though, so excellent micro here. Oh, but there's one, going to be burrowed down. 8 drones though that time. So 8, 9, 10, 11 drones total, I believe, just got taken out there, and both of these vessels are still alive. Going to continue to swarm up those swarms there, but he needs to pick off of these vessels. I feel like he needs a couple more Scourgy Dirges, especially because he's up against a 4 starport build here. The vessel pressure is going to be non-stop. Vessels are going to be running in here a lot. Another one getting picked off here, only using 1 Scourge, keeping that alive. Very nice stuff here. Back at home, Legend Evil just throwing down his command center now. Just now accepting that this is going to go into a later game where he is going to be in a favorable position. Another vessel going to get thrown down there. Instant burrow on it. Going to only, again, get only 1 drone there. So, oh, but he did forget a swarm here. Needs to consume that Overlord right on top of him. Oh, right as they give him a bunch of compliments, he could be a costly mistake there. Now going to consume 2 more Zerglings. He has a lot of Zerglings and lurkers here, so it looks like he is going to be just fine here. Going to be able to re-establish a choke, no problem. But these vessels are going to be an issue if he isn't able to continually pick them off. But right as they say that, does use 6 to pick off 2. He could have picked off all 3 there. 1 tank is going to run by. The only 1 lurker burrowed there. More Defilers getting built here. Vulture doing his thing and staying alive. This tank is going to siege up, but it is going to get taken out by 12 Zerglings there. Turrets now starting to be thrown down on the outside. We do see Evil is well aware that a Marine or a Muta bomb / mass drop is a big time possibility. These vessels doing a pretty good job eradicating those Defilers. We need to see a couple more. We need to see some more anti-air from our Zerg player to not allow this to happen. Both very gas-heavy units, but at this point the Terran does have way more gas. So trading off a vessel for a Defiler is definitely favorable still for the Terran player. We do see that drop coming in here now. You don't need much. That is why he was keeping all of his units back here. This could be a sneaky drop. It is going to be detected, but there is nothing at home at all. So this could be bad. Especially, yeah, if these vessels don't come back home. He is continuing to load up. There isn't many lurkers in here. but you don't need too many. I don't see a defiler either in there yet. Oh, it was just scanned. Hopefully, I don't know if you saw that or not. Continuing to push forward. Is there a defiler even in here? Yeah, there is. Okay, one defiler in there. Good stuff. He is going to go for this counter drop here. It is going to. It's going to be a lot of investments. A lot of investment in here if this doesn't pay off, but it looks like it just may. There's only one Marine that is going to detect it. These tanks are pushing forward. Legend Evil is all focused on this right now. No defilers back at home for him. So it is going to be scary stuff. These overlords have snuck by. I don't know if Legend Evil has absolutely seen it. He is scanning it. Nothing at home though. He is pulling of SCVs, so all of these SCVs may not die, but this is gonna hurt. This is going to hurt. The lurkers going down. Burrowing. There we go. Burrowing. Defilery. There we go. But regardless, Legend Evil does not have the biggest bank, and those cracklings, those are cracklings. Those gonna take out a main really quick. Not going to be able to repair that. That is going to be taken out. He is sending units back home, but it is not going to be in time. He did save all of his SCVs. He does have only 35 though, but he's not going to be able to clean it up. These cracklings are absolutely devastating. That took out a main really, really quick. I like that a lot. You forget how good the cracklings are. Yeah, that was really good. I like that. I like it a lot. He's going to try to push forward, but not going to be able to do it. These lurglings, oh my god, doing devastating damage. The Marines are giving up the dream. He's sending the SCVs back. It is spiraling out of control. He does have 1,000,000 vessels, but that isn't going to help you at all right now in this position. GG is called, and Vulture wins the best of 5 and gets it. Well done. Gets a Zerg win. You don't see that as often as we would like to. Vulture taking care of business, defeating Legend Evil in a very nice best of 5. Some quick games for sure, but some good ones. And yeah, GG. Until next time, it's your boy. We'll be getting some more 2v2 games though. There's been some crazy 2v2 games this season with some good players. I'll be casting more of those. And yeah, until next time, it's your boy, GG.